Hey guys, I am back with another huge Araby update. As you can see, I got my first banner completed. So enough about this, I'm just gonna go straight into the detail of the miniatures I've converted and then show you at the end what I have for Mydas and his eunuch bodyguards. So I think obviously I'm gonna start with the banner for my eunuch unit. And this guy took not too long, believe it or not. So I'll have the green stuff video of the actual miniature. And then when I took the videos of the banner, my hand was actually in front of the camera. I didn't pay attention. Um, it was very late at night painting the banner, and I thought I was getting good footage. And then watching it, I realized, well, it's too late now. But yeah, so the banner, you can tell it's inspired by the Dogs of War actually banner with the almost like creamy off-white and red. And for a while, I've been thinking, how do I make my Araby stand out because they don't have an official banner? And I kind of liked the Dogs of War one. It's quite unique. So I kind of nicked it, especially because this is Mydas and Sheik who come from Dogs of War. So how I got inspired um, by making this banner, it's an original design. Let me get Mydas here. The original Mydas, or the real Mydas, has like a lion embellished on his shield, and actually the things that clip his cape are lion faces. Now for my Mydas, I just painted this derpy lion trying to match the art, but he seems to have this lion motif. So obviously I wanted to showcase that upon his, unit standard. And looking at the different Dogs of War banner, I know some of them have the like reefs around the logo and they have some scroll work. So I thought integrating colors of green to match the army, blue because blue is seen throughout a lot of the army as well. And I think it came out pretty good. I think the lion is exactly how I envisioned it. The only thing I am hesitant about was the white crown. I wanted to make it gold, but the lion actually uses a lot of the same colors as the gold, and I thought it'd be too much. And because white is a prominent color in this unit specifically, I thought having a white crown would be unique. This you can make up some more abstract symbolism meaning behind it, and of course, just having his name Midas on it, I think it really sells that this is his, personal banner. And when you see that lion in the unit, Midas the Mean has come to town. So really, really happy of how the banner came out. And I don't actually have recording of it, but the headpiece and then these two things on the sides, these two come from an elf bow, and the top comes from, I believe, the high elf banners. I just love the crescent moon as it is a motif seen throughout Araby. But again, yeah, pretty straightforward. Really proud of how it turned out. And actually, I did paint the back of the banner. It's very basic. I didn't want to put the logo twice, but I think it works out well, and I'm really happy with it. Let me know if you like the design. Personally, I this was the best I could think for Midas. I had four other designs ready to go, but this is the one I settled on. So you're gonna see some work in progress, and then the banner painting progress, and then I'll move on to the next two miniatures. And here is the conversion. So I had to resculpt the whole arm fabric, and then I started to resculpt the face to match the old Hammer aesthetic because these guys were created for Mordheim. And for here, you can see I sculpted the hands finally. The banner is just a toothpick, so pretty easy to work with. And now we move on to my banner process. So I draw it on grid paper. It helps with the size. And I ended up just drawing a circle in the middle just to get everything I wanted. The next step is to just get the design I wanted overall, which was this lion design. You heard what I explained behind my philosophy behind it. And for each step moving forward, you're pretty much just going to see me filling in the colors like a coloring book. It's pretty cool and very therapeutic. So for anyone who does paint a banner, just treat it like honestly a child's coloring book. Fill in the colors and then manually add highlights here and there. It really is simple. I know it can be very daunting in the beginning, but I promise you, it is so enjoyable that once you start doing it, you want to freehand all of your banners. I'm telling you guys, it is not as hard as it looks. And just for fun, here is some like footage I talked about. I didn't know my finger was in the camera. I was painting the banner kind of late, and I really thought it was in focus, but this is what I mean by if you can make out the paintbrush, I just color in all the sections that need to be red for this part of the banner. It's supposed to be really simple and therapeutic, like I just said. And even if you make a mistake, you have your drawing, you have the guide in front of you. So don't be afraid of, what happens here and there. This video was really messed up. I really covered most of what I was painting, and I do apologize about that. But it just kind of shows a little bit more of how I just literally grab my paintbrush and I fill in the colors one step at a time. It is paper, so don't put too much water or you will actually tear it. So up next is a small but mighty miniature. It's this old classic Citadel Halfling, and I had this guy in my collection for about 2 months, and he was meant for my D&D Otherworld Fantasy Skirmish games. And recently it dawned on me that his feathers and hat look very similar to that of Mydas, and when you put them together, they look like they're item deal. So I got inspired by the Dark Angels and Space Marines. They have the Watchers in the Dark, little robed figures that carry weapons and all sorts of things like that. And with this halfling, I have the impression that with his pose, he's like announcing the arrival of Midas the Mean. So like you can imagine this halfling as a almost like a servant or an assistant. And so I did paint the feathers and everything to match Midas to show that. But also in the lore, Astelia is nearby Araby, and it kind of lets me grab miniatures that look like they are from Astelia and weave them into my army. As I am running out of ideas to convert the eunuch monk models, I can only use so many Citadel miniatures before it hurts my wallet, slash I am getting tired of sculpting so many monks. So I have a couple more of these Estelian looking dudes that I can now throw into this unit, and they shouldn't look out of place. But I'm really happy with how he turned out. Nothing too much to report on. I just followed my basic painting scheme. Feathers match Midas, and I just really love the pose. Again, it's like announcing the arrival of big bad mean Midas. So let me move on now to the last miniature. So this is the last miniature for the update. He is fairly straightforward. You will see a green stuff, I believe, work in progress video. And he was based off of the Talisman Monk miniature, actually. So a lot of converting went into this guy. Practically half the head was sliced off and had to resculpt pretty much everything on his body. And I'm really happy with the pose, like I made him winking a little bit. He looks a little bit more, mean and in charge. And I'm really happy with the pose. I did opt to drop that little yellow tabard you see throughout the unit. I did that to match this guy. So these two don't have if I can get him, they don't have that yellow or orange like front cloth. And so I want to make sure I have at least two miniatures in the unit that look similar so it doesn't look out of place. If he was the only guy without that yellow orange square in the front of his waist, I think he would look out of place. But now there's two of them, that shouldn't be a problem. But really happy, very simple conversion, and I am liking how all of them are coming together. They all really do look mean and in charge, and I just love it. I love it so much. So let me move on to the work in progress videos, and then at the end you will see Midas and his whole unit together. And here is the green stuff of the monk. So you can see he is about, I would say, easily 50% sculpted as well. Just had to match the current models in my army. And I am so happy to present Mydas and his unit so far. At the moment, there are 13 miniatures fully completed. I have 18 total I want, so just 5 more to go. I do need to figure out what to convert, as I am running out of these bodies slash ideas. But I just want to share with you how the unit looks. It looks, in my opinion, badass. I am so happy. I think this does look like Mydas and his personal bodyguard. I'm happy with the placement so far. So having the little Tylean halfling who looks like Mydas, I think is awesome. His pose is like he's presenting Mydas to the opposing faction. Having the musician be that this eunuch with the giant leaf is cool, and then of course having Sheik in the front. Um, I love the unit, and I'm beyond happy to almost get it done. At the moment, I am putting the wizard with the monkey back in the unit. I am running out of time, and I still think he does fit into the unit. He also allows me to change up a little bit of the bodies for the unit. I don't have to look for these monk cleric models to convert all the time now. So I just love how everything looks. I think it's very unique, and you can see through the gap the wizard toad. I'm really happy he fits into the unit fairly well. And yeah, it's been a lot of work, but I do think the army is coming along, and especially this unit. This has to be one of my favorite units in my army, and I hope you guys are enjoying the progress. I know I am, and I am very close to getting some games with this faction. So stay tuned. Another big update on the horizon.